right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakodash. Give honor to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and that root well. Citation, much love for you. I keep pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, we out here again with just another weekly edification and prophesying the downfall of America, man. Prophesying the things that you see and going on right here, man. All right, and apparently you got this art event that's going on around the corner, but hey, it's nevertheless, hey man, this is the things that was going on, that was going on back in the olden days, man. People were just going on about their everyday life, all right, and just is going into and just going into basically their, how do I say, their everyday goings here and there. All right, so let me start off with this verse in the book of Revelation. All right, so we're gonna just hit into a bunch of different prophecies with the things that's going on in the news, all right, and things that's going on around the world, man. All right, see here in Babylon, you have the careless city, man. A lot of people are just, living their everyday life. Everything is going on. Like I said, it's some kind of huge art event around the corner where, for blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks, you just got, all the roads blocked off to have this main event. People are just living their life, man. Like there's nothing going on in the news. But hey, if they was to watch the news, they would see there's a lot of things going on. And forgive me if, the wind's blowing kind of hard out here today. But nevertheless, let's just continue on. All right, this is in the book of Revelation. We're going to start off in the book of Revelation, chapter 19. I'm going to read verse 10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy." All right, and so, hey, this is how the true men of the Lord that's out here, man. All right, they're not out here trying to build so-called black communities. All right, telling you that everything's gonna be all right. Prophesying unto you smooth things. But what? They're gonna be harping on what? These prophecies is coming to pass, man. All right, which we'll get into later on in the day about measuring the times diligently. What's the measuring stick, man? All right, the measuring stick would be these prophecies, man. All right, these things that's going on in the news and in the media and things like that, man. This is how we would know. All right, the days that are at hand, man, and the days when the Lord was gonna make His return. All right. So let's continue on. Let me grab this real quick. In Matthew chapter, let me see. We start at verse. Just getting to the point. Well, let me start at verse 36. Matthew 24 and 36. All right, because part of the common misconception is, hey man, no man knoweth the day or the hour, man. As the scriptures say, let's go ahead and read that real fast. Matthew 24 and verse 36 says, "But of the day and the hour," all right, let's reiterate that. "But of the day and the hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." And these are Yahushua words, man. So nobody knows the day or the hour that the Lord's going to come back. All right, but hey, we have plenty of things. When you read this whole chapter, it goes into a lot of the signs that will be happening in the end days. So we would know based off of those signs to be able to measure the times diligently. All right, so let's read that again. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 36. "But of the day and the hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." So again, no man knows the day or the hour. All right, we're not out here trying to say we know the exact day or the exact hour when the Lord's going to return. All right, but we know about these signs. All right, now if we read further on, they're going to get into a lot of the signs that's going on. All right, it says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For in the days that were so going into those things, man. All right, there was the times that Noah we're about to read about, but hey, look, the sign that they would be looking for will basically be the sign of Noah, the prophets, man. All right, so reading back in verse 38, Matthew 24 and 38, it says, "For as the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." So that's like the times that we're living in right now, man. All right, we have, a lot of things is really going on in the world on a global scale. All right, but people are out here eating and drinking, giving into marriage and marrying, partying it up, man, while things are going on in the news, man. All right, so this is that place where they talk about living carelessly and things like that. We can let's go and grab that real fast. But nevertheless, we have the signs. Well, let me finish reading on further down. It says, let me read up real quick in verse 32. Matthew 24 and 32, it says, "Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door." So you can discern the times by the seasons and things like that, man. All right, you can discern like certain signs in the world. You know, like when a woman's water break, you know she's about to go into labor, man. So how much more of these signs that you see in the world, man? This is the number one sign that most people ask about in the world. When is the end of the times coming? When is the end of the world coming, man? But we have in the scriptures in the Bible that tell us about all the signs of the Lord's coming. All right, and all the things that he told his prophets to go out and prophesy about. All right, and so we're going to, you know, we're out in the highways and the byways telling you about these things, man. All right, you know, we go into the chief place of Concord. All right, and we tell you about these things, man. All right, so now let's go back over into this. Let me grab this in Isaiah 47 real fast. All right, but see, these are the things that, again, people, you know, they think it's such a big mystery, but one of the major signs that they should see is what the sign of the prophets. All right, you know, but nevertheless, you know, they don't put these things into consideration. So this is going back into Isaiah chapter 47. Let me see. We can read a lot of this, but I wanted to grab a certain precept. This is verse 8. Just getting to the point. Lord's will, we'll come back to this here chapter and read more into it. But going into Isaiah 47 and verse 8, it says, "Therefore hear now this, thou art given to pleasures that dwellest carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children." So in a time like this that's going on around the globe, you know, you have a lot of people that are living under turmoils, you know, around the globe in the Middle East. All right, you have a lot of things taking off in Russia and Ukraine. All right, the news that's been going off, you know, chiming in after, you know, hour after hour going on in that area, man. All right, these people are living under constant distress and things like that. All right, but here in America, this is the place where it dwelleth carelessly, man. All right, they're giving unto pleasures. Like I said, right now you have a lot of things going on, and you can probably tell by the, you know, the traffic that's going up and down the block and people walking around the corner and everything. Like I said, hey, the next street over, the side street over here, man, it's all blocked off for, you know, about 10 blocks down, nothing but like a big festive type scenario, man. All right, but hey, people are giving into their pleasures, man. Going out and about, having their little breakfast, having their little lunch, having their dinners, their coffees, their everyday to day going ons, man. All right, but nevertheless, these are the times that was speaking about, man. All right, but what? This was only given unto the Lord's elect, man. His sheep hear this voice and they do follow. Let me see if I can find that real fast. This is in the book of Revelation. Let me see. We can grab that as well too. Just want to get straight to the point here. Well, we'll read down a little bit. Revelation 14. I'm going to start at verse 1. All right. It says, "And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with them 144,000, having the Father's name written in their forehead." All right. Going into what? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This was going to be on the top of their minds, man. All right. "And I heard a voice from heaven, and a voice of many waters as a voice of a great thunder. And I heard a voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as if it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and before the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth." So going into this here new song, man. All right, this is something new that you would newly hear, man. You know, because people are going to their churches every Sunday. All right, and they sing their psalms and their praises and things like that. But they're not really talking about the things that's at hand right now, man. All right, they're under this here, how do I say this perception that there's going to be a pre-tribulation rapture scenario where they're going to just be raptured out. They're not going to see these end days. But hey, contrary to popular belief, you're living through the Great Tribulation right now, man. You have a global pandemic, man, a global economic collapse. You got wars and rumors of wars that's going on around the whole globe. But yet and still, this here place is dwelling carelessly like there's nothing going on around the globe, man. Everybody else is living in turmoil, but hey, these people, they don't quite see. But this is why this is the song that only the 144,000 could learn, man. They hear the music playing, they hear the beat, and they're up and dancing into these things, man. While everybody else is just going on, turn that racket down. You know, it's like, you know, you're listening in your car to a radio, and you turn the channel. You know, you go through all these different channels, and it's not nothing that's catching your ears, so you just keep on turning, man. All right, you may hear some static on one channel. You turn the channel. You may hear some type of music or genre of music that you don't listen to. You turn the channel. You may hear a channel that you normally listen to, but it's a commercial. You quickly change the channel, man. All right, so that's what the majority of these people are out here doing. They're just changing the channel. They're not hearkening into this here word, onto this here song, man. All right, that only the elect would hear, man. This is why we're talking only into the elect of Israel, man. All right, because again, the rest of these people are living carelessly out here, man. They're living in their everyday life. All right, you know, they're just going on about their everyday gig, man. All right, let's go back into that. Verse 4 says, Revelation 14:4 says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and unto the Lamb. You know, going into the virgins real quick, man, they're not defiled with these other doctrines. They're not mixing these other doctrines and things like that, man. All right, they're not going into other philosophies and trying to make that with this here scripture, man. The scriptures say she should not meet her mate, meaning you can't mix this book with another book, man. All right, but going back into it, it says, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. All right, following after what? His words, man. All right, and we open up with the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, man. All right, so what? We're going to be following after the Lord and after these here prophecies, man. All right, we're going to be watching, man. All right, we're going to be using these things as the measuring stick. So, hey, going back into the precept of going into, you know, not necessarily measuring the time diligently, but that's the concept of it. But, hey, when you see these certain things, you know that summer is nigh, man. All right, being able to measure based off of what? The prophecies, being what? Occupied therein. All right, which is what? The spirit of Yahweh Shai, man. All right, looking to and following after him, man. All right, this is what he said to be doing in these last days. Watch ye therefore, man. All right, warning our people, man. All right, these are the things we were supposed to be out here doing. And matter of fact, let's go to that real fast, because, you know, a lot of our people are out here wondering why we're not doing certain things, or why we're not trying to build a so-called certain type of community and things like that. But nevertheless, hey, these are the things that we were supposed to be putting our mind to, man. All right, so let's go and read that real fast. This is this is going back. Wind's kind of blowing my pages everywhere. This is going back into the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3. Oh, we don't want this to blow. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 17. All right, it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning for me. All right, and what does a watchman do? A watchman watches for impending danger, man. All right, for more or less a change is coming into the way, man. So when you see things coming, man, this is what the watchmen do. They set up on their post, all right, and they give watch and they warn the people. All right, like the scripture said, give them warning for me. So, hey, going into these things, giving them warnings, all right, telling them about, hey, look, these are the signs that the Lord spoke about, man. So go and warn the people, man. This is a high time to wake out of thy sleep, man. This is the time for our salvation, man. All right, so what? We're supposed to be waking up, taking heed to the word, all right, listening and watching, man. Hearkening unto the prophets, man, because why? They were sent forth to give you warning, all right? Give me 1 second. The wind's blowing here. I'll blow over the stand. But nevertheless, continuing on, verse 18, it says, And when I shall say unto the wicked, Thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked ways, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but the blood will I require at thy hand. All right, and so what? We're charged with warning our people about these things, man. Repent, turn back unto the Lord. All right, come back into the law, statutes, commandments, lest you die in your sins, man. All right, so we were charged with this here word, man. When we see something, say something, how they say in the world, man. You see something, say something. So what? We're out here, we're watching on our watch. We see certain things happening and taking place. All right, we see these prophecies building up. So what do? We go out here and we warn our people about these things, man. All right, we warn our people of the impending danger, man. All right, we see, let me grab that real quick. It just flowing through the spirit, man. All right, this is Revelation 12:12. It says, Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that do rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. And so what? We're out here warning our people that what? The devil is about to come down with great wrath, knowing he has but a short time. Because ultimately he's trying to set up his new world order. All right, he's trying to set up his agenda, which is going into what? The MOTB, the mark of the beast, man. All right, because hey, this is his in-game goal, man, is to mark all of the children, the Lord's children, man. All right, so let's go ahead and grab that real fast. About the times being short, all right, and what we should be doing. All All right, we're gonna grab this real fast in the book of Job, chapter 5. And I'm gonna start at verse 12. It says, "He disappointed the device of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong." So, hey, you know, he disappointed the device of the crafty, man. According to him trying to set up his agenda and everything else like that, and all these different things, man. So it's gonna come to naught. But what he knows, by measuring his time diligently, he knows he has but a short time. So what is he trying to do? Speed up these things, man. All right, coming down with great wrath, implementing certain things, you know, with his draconian laws. All right, and all these different things, and these quote unquote mandates that you see. All right, you see the devil's out here moving with the swiftness out here, man. All right, he's moving with how do I put it? He's moving with a great expedience, man. All right, so let's continue on. Let me grab this real fast as well too, because hey, again, we can measure the times diligently in itself. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab something else before I grab this. Just prime this up real fast. Salakia. Tighten this down. All right, Lord's will, this don't blow away. All right. So let me just go ahead and read about this real fast, and then we'll get back into it, because we just made mention of this. But hey, as you can see, you know, these are the things that's actually being implemented in the world today. All right, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. All right, he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand or in his forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark or the name of the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, going into what? That charagma. All right, something that's inserted into the flesh, man. All right, which, as you see, they're trying to make these you know, they got the thing that's going on out there right now, the little juice, the juicy juice. All right, but now they want to make a way to verify. You know, you get your verification check. And how you get your verification check is if they can read that in real time, man. All right, but nevertheless, you know, they gonna try to put something inside of you, man, that RFID chip, man. All right, but what, he's trying to make these mandates and things like that to you know, he's moving swiftly with these things, man. And within, what, 2 years, he's pretty much got everybody on board with his agenda. All right, there was an article in the news today about somebody who wound up in Las Vegas. All right, somebody at a store clerk, wound up trying to tell somebody to wear a mask or something like that. And all of a sudden, they wound up shooting the person. All right, give me 1 second, Salakia. So they, nevertheless, I'm trying to give me a little sweater on, but I'll keep talking. But nevertheless, earlier today, you know, they had somebody in Las Vegas who pretty much wound up shooting the store clerk because of, or the store clerk wound up shooting the customer because of the fact of they didn't want to wear a mask. All right, you know, so you got these people that's pretty much under the guise of the agenda that's being pushed and everything else like that. All right. You have the majority of the planet that's, you know, falling for Esau and his deception, man. All right, so nevertheless, hey, we know that we have but a short time, man. All right, because we see that these things are coming to pass, and what the Lord says, he's going to disappoint the device of the crafty, man. All right, he's going to pretty much stop him in his path, man. All right, but what, the devil also know he has but a short time, so what, he's going to come down with great wrath. So what are we supposed to be doing as the watchmen out here, man? All right, we supposed to be warning our people of the impending danger, man, to get right, to repent, man. That's what we out here doing, man. All right, we're also telling you, you know, watching of these prophecies and warning you, you know, about all these things. But like the scriptures say, no man know the day or the hour. We're not out here professing that we know the day or the hour, but what we know about these prophecies that are coming to pass, and what we're warning you about them, man. All right, and what, everything is going to happen according to the Lord's time, man. All right, let me grab that real fast. All right, everything's going to happen according to the Lord's time, and in his against or how do I say, to his will, man, in favor of his will, put it that way. Because, you know, a lot of people will say, hey, you guys are always harping on these things and those things, but hey, the Lord has a certain amount of time or a time frame for these things to take place, man. All right, and they're gonna how do I say, they're gonna fall in line according to his will, more or less to say. All right, this is his script, his movie. This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse, I'm gonna start at the top because we're going back into being that watchman, man. All right, we were set up as the watchman to warn our people. All right, Habakkuk 2:1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, and now we'll go back to that Ezekiel 3, all right, about what we're supposed to be doing. All right, warning, you know, we got the point there pretty much. Hey, hear the word of my mouth and give the warning from me. All right, so what? We're the watchmen set up to hear this your word. All right, watch the prophecies that's taking place, warn you of the things that's going down, man. So we've been measuring times diligently and telling you where we at these things, man. All right, and again, we're not saying we know the day or the hour, but what? We're watching for these signs to come to pass. All right, continuing on. Verse 2, it says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And that's what our job is to do, man. We're set forth to break these things down unto you, man. Some of these things you may not know about. Some of these things you may not know the importance or the relevance of certain things that's taking place. All right, and what? We've been tasked with telling you about these things, man, and telling you what's the importance of these different things and why are these signs, man. When you see this, how does this relate to this and that? How does this here so-called pandemic relate to things that's going on, you know, in the scriptures, man? And we just read about how he was going to cause everybody, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive his mark, all right, in his right hand or in his forehead, man. All right, and, you know, when you actually go into that word forehead, you know, and go further into that word, you know, it goes into what? Meta. All right, and you see them already setting up what? This here metaverse, man. So all these things are coming to pass right now, man. Let me read the next verse. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right, hey, so the vision is yet for an appointed time. All right, a set time, the Most High's time, man. It's not according to our time. Hey, we're only set here to warn you about these things, man. All right, just like a doctor with a pregnant woman. Hey, man, you're going to have that baby soon. You know, the doctor tell the woman about the, you know, she's going to be, you know, this is about your due date around this time, man. But he can't quite tell her that the moment and the hour that her water's going to break and when she's going to go into labor, all right, and when that baby's going to actually be born, man. All right, because, hey, some labors take a lot longer than other labors, man. So, hey, this is what we've been tasked to do, to be those watchmen, to warn you about these things that's coming to pass, man. All right, and give you this here warning. Let's go back over to the book of Job real quick. All right, because, you know, we was talking about how, you know, the devil's coming down into you with that great wrath, all right, because he knows he has but a short time. All right, this is Job 20. We start at verse 20. All right, Job 20 and 20, it says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he has desired. You know, so we just read about, you know, in Job 5 about him, well, the Most High disappointed the device of the crafty, man. All right, how he's going to stop him pretty much in his tracks, man. All right, so what? What is he trying to do? Implement what you would know of as his new world order, man. Chip everybody, get everybody under his how do I say, his control and his commandment, man. All right, so he's going to mark that he's your master, man. He's your God. He has a godlike complex, man. All right, he's trying to exalt himself above all that is called the Most High, man. This is what his plan and his agenda is to do, man. To get everybody to worship him. All right. This is this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let me start up at 3. I'm gonna jump around a little bit just to make this here point. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And we kind of went into this a little bit last week about, you know, going into the falling away. All right, about Jake, you know, and you know, a little bit of the so-called black history about how we lost our heritage and things like that. You know, that's going into the falling away. But what? We were out here to raise up, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and letting you know who you are according to the Bible. You're the Israelites, man. All right, and putting your garments back on, bring you back into the law, statutes, commandments, man. All right, bring you back into serving the Lord, man. All right, so that was going into that falling away, but now this is that gathering going back into that, man. All right, but continuing on, it says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right, let me keep reading. It says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right, and so like I said, he has a godlike complex, man. He wants to sit there and basically mark you with his stamp. All right, and show forth that he reigns over top of you, man. and all your thoughts, all right, and all your ways, and tell you what you can and can't do, man. All right, you know, everything that the Most High tell us to do in the scriptures, man, is the one thing that we can't do on this here side, man. The Most High don't, or Esau don't want us to do these things, you know, wear our beards out, you know what I'm saying? Esau, hey, you go to your job like that, Esau tell you have to cut those things, man. All right, they go and they put pork in every damn thing, man. Now in this here society, when you say you don't eat pork, everybody look at you like you weird, man. All right, but they what do they push and promote? Adultery, sex, drug, and alcohol, man. All right, but when you say that you're not with those things, what do? They look at you like you're a monster out here, man, for trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, but going back, it says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right, and that's what Esau is out here doing, man. Esau is putting himself up. Hey, I got the answers to all these things, man. All right, everybody's in turmoil and everybody's in panic and an array. Everybody's in a debacle that's going on. But hey, follow on to me, and then you can hear what you got going on, and I can save you from all these different things, man. This is what he's pushing and promoting on his media, man. Showing himself that he is God. The only way to sit here and to be sufficed, the only way to sit here and to go back to a normal reality is to go under his agenda and to go into his ways, man. This is what he has planned for you people, man, to follow after him. But if you go any other way other than that way, he sits here and he kicks you out of his society, man. All right, you say you don't want to take his little love potion and thing, you want to just handle it on your own, they cast you out of this here society, man. All right, showing himself that he is God, man. It's the only way. If you don't listen to me, hey, it's death. All right, that's how the Most High get down, man. Follow after my law, statutes, commandments, or you get put to death, basically, you know. But nevertheless, hey, this is what Esau has going forth, man. If you don't take my mandates and follow after my certain requirements, you lose your job, your livelihood, all right? Your way of being out here, man. All right, so this is what Esau has planned for you people, man. All right, to be a God unto you, man. This is why he wants you to worship him in his image, all right? Let me jump down to verse 8, all right? Because, hey, this goes into twofold, man. This goes into what we were set up to do, to expose this man, but this is also going back and into, you know, showing him in his godlike complex, man. All right? It says, and verse 8, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, all right, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Now, who's been telling you who the devil is according to the Bible, man? All right, the Lord has raised up his prophets, man, all right, of the children of Israel, man, all right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to go forth and show his people who the damn devil is, man. Who's the one that's been taking peace from the earth, man? All right, who's the one that's been going on? Let's grab that real quick. But nevertheless, who's been fulfilling these here descriptions of this here madman that's roaming the planet Earth right now, man? Who's put the spotlight on him from these things, man? All right, this is Revelation chapter 6. And I'm going to read verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. All right, and who was given that great sword? We can read about that, Genesis chapter 27. All right, that was Esau's blessing. He was going to live by a sword. But what the scriptures say, he was going to be going forth to take what? Peace from the earth. All right, and who's taking peace from the earth, man? Who's created the GMO foods, man? Who's launched all these war campaigns on the whole earth, man? Who's been going forth spreading, how you would say, misinformation about certain people, lies about certain people, man? Who went over and invaded in the Middle East and said, what's your boy named, Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, man? 20 years later, they ain't found no weapons of mass destruction, man. All right, they talking about the boogeyman was over there. They still ain't found the boogeyman over there, man. Come to find out, he was the boogeyman. All right, but nevertheless, hey, who's been going around taking peace from the earth? Who's over there in Russia right now trying to destabilize that region right now, taking peace from over there, man, with all their propaganda, man? Keep lying, talking about Russia's on the verge of invading over there, man. But what is he over there to keep doing? False flags, and what they call shelling. All right, what does shelling mean? They over there shooting at people, man. All right, who's taking peace from the earth over there, man? This is Esau Edom's doing, man. All right. Let's jump down to verse 8. Revelation 6 and 8. It says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, and to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. All right, and so going back into this, it says, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat upon him was Death and Hell. All right, and so look, everywhere he goes, what follows him? Death and hell, man. Everywhere he takes his military, what follows after that, man? Death and hell, man. Since the first time he came over here on this side of the earth, what followed after that, man? Death and hell, man. All right, so everywhere that this pale horse goes, all right, this is what follows him, man. All right, there's no place where his military sets foot that they actually bring. That's what they call it, a peace keeping missions. All right, spreading freedom and spreading liberation, man. All right, and how does he spread peace and liberation to these people? By killing them all off, man, and calling them what? Collateral damage, man. All right, he went over, said that your boy again. Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction over there. They still ain't found nothing, but what did they do over to the Middle East, man? They blew it all up and created terrorists over there, man. All right, created a bunch of people that hated you so-called Americans, and they still ain't really came over here and did nothing to you people, man. All right, the only people that's been living under the guise of so-called being blown up by terrorists was them people in the Middle East, man. Going back to you people over here in America living carelessly, man. There's been people that's been born in this here country that then grown up, that's in their 20s now, and their whole life they've been under the under a time of war, and they ain't even know nothing about it, man. All right, you have people that's been born in the year, what, 2000, 2001. All right, now they're around the age of 20. All right, and their whole life never knew they was at war. But the whole time, man, people over there in the Middle East have been feeling the wave of Esau, man. All right, taking peace from the earth, man. So what? We've been giving you this here warning about this here devil, man. All right, but he has a godlike complex, all right, of I'm going to save everybody. I'm going to bring everybody to peace, man. All right, but hey, this is part of his deception. This is why he's called the deceiver, man. All right, this is going into his ways, man. That's the spirit of the damn devil right there, man. You got two damn devils getting into some road rage, man. Hey, but that's also going into prophecy, man. The love of many waxing cold, man. I mean, you got these well-off damn Edomites out here. We're not even going to get into them, but they bugging out as well, too, man. All right, but hey, this is why you got to be walking circumspect out here, man. But nevertheless, let's continue on in the scripture. 2 Thessalonians 2, and let me go back to verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And we just went into that, man. All right, we've been on the highways and the byways and on these video epistles, letting you know who the damn devil is, man. Showing you his ways and how he's been going through the earth and taking peace from the earth, man. We go into it week in and week out. Now they have certain things that they're pushing in their school systems, what they call critical race theory, man, where you can't talk about or hurt Esau's feelings. That's one of the laws they're trying to push here in Florida. All right, where you can't hurt Esau's feelings about his doings, man. But the scriptures say, hey, man, he was a death and as hell, man. All right, or he was as death and hell followed, man. Everywhere he go, he bring death and destruction, man. Rape, robbery, and murder, man. But you can't bring up those things that he's wound up doing, man. All right. If us exposing the things that he's been doing is such hurtful things to him, why don't he just stop, man? All right. You think Esau will learn by now to just stop, man? But no, Esau don't let up off the gas, man. He just, hey, he doubles down, man. All right, all gas, no brake. And this is Esau to his motive, man. He like, well, fuck it. They didn't expose me a little bit. We got to kill them too, man. It's like when you're watching these little movies and things like that where they, you know, you see a person who can expose somebody from their you know, they're doing some kind of mess. You know, they get caught with whatever they're doing. So now they got to take them out because they know too much. Now we got to take them out because they know too much. But, hey, because of your lies, man, all right, you wind up having to go in and try to silence everybody, man. And recreate your so-called history, man. Going back to his godlike complex, man. Rewriting the ways that there is, man. The Most High set up everything in righteousness, man. All right, in the beginning, he created everything like it was supposed to be, man. Every fruit having its seed bearing in itself, man. All right, but what does Esau do? He tries to change that. Now you got seedless fruit. All right, you got GMO foods, man. All right, the Most High created male and female. All right, told them to be fruitful and multiply. But what does Esau do, man? Hey, you got 100 different, whatever you want to call them, man. Or they call them whatever they call them nowadays. You got all kind of different names for these things, you know, and they separating sex and gender nowadays. So it's nothing but madness, man. No, it's no coincidence this place is called Babylon the Great, man. The land of great confusion, man. That's all that there is that's being spewed out here is confusion, man. You don't know if you're a male or a female, a human or an animal. All right, you don't know what the hell you are out in this here place, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, man, these people are the epitome of death, man. All right, everything they touch, they ruin, man. All right. Let's continue on. It says, verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, with deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish. All right, and so this is what his MO is, man, to deceive you, man. Come after Satan, the goings of Satan with all this here lying and his signs of wonders, his false signs. All right, oh, I can heal you with these things, man. Elon Musk with his Neuralink, man. Oh, we can make the lane walk again. Just put this here computer chip into your brain, man, and we got you, man. All right, but what Yahushua was able to just to tell a man by his own words, hey, man, you're healed, man. Pick up that bed and walk. What is Esau out here doing? What is the devil out here doing, man? All right, with his technology, man. All right, he's recreating all these false miracles, man. All right, he's doing all the same thing. Hey, look, creating his so-called fruits and his vegetables. All right, but this is all his so-called, how do I say, whatever you want to call his Frankenstein science, man. All right, he's over here just putting a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but it all has byproducts, man. All right, you eating these processed foods, man. The byproducts of that is cancer, man. You have a society full of people with cancer and all these different diseases, man. You're supposed to eat food to make you healthy. All right, but look, all the foods that we're eating now is just all foods that's killing you and everything else like that, man. All right, water is supposed to be nourishing into the body, but what? You got fluoride all in the water, man. All right, you got to have different types of bottled water and things like that, purified water, man. Water was supposed to be pure already, man. Look at the water supplies, man. They're all tainted and everything else like that, man. But this is of his doings, man. All right, this is the same guy that's out here with this here agenda to microchip the whole world, man. All right, this is his MO to do all these things, man. All right, but yet and still, these people are walking hand in hand with him and listening unto this here, man. All right, listening to him and his lying wonders, man. Again, you have this global quote-unquote pandemic that's going on. All right, when there's a time of a global sickness, and everybody's listening to him. Let me grab a precept on that real quick, but let me finish this. Verse 9, it says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. All right, lying wonders, man. Oh, they show you these goddamn numbers on the TV, this madness. All right, all these people are dying and everything else like that, man. All right, they'll show you how do I say, not a scripted, but a staged scenario of lines wrapped around a damn hospital and things like that, man. I remember seeing that out here when they was trying to push forward those little, how do I say, those narratives, man. All right, they try to push forward that, oh, the lines of the hospital are wrapped around the corner, man. Then you actually ride down to the damn hospital and you realize, you know, normally the hospital got a couple cars out here in the parking lot, you know, at least with the people working there. Now you go out there expecting to see lines around the building. There's no cars in sight at the parking lots, man. They're completely empty, man. What's going on with this here madness, man? All right, with his lying signs and wonders, man. But yet and still he has all these people believing these here lies. All right, let me read on a little bit more. It says, even him who's coming is after Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders and with deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie, and that they all might be damned who believe not the truth but have pleasure in unrighteousness. All right, so what? Going back to, for this cause the Most High shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. So like I was saying, man, most people won't just open their eyes. You know, that was one of the things, there's that movie, Don't Look Up, man. You know, I was watching that movie, and that was one of the funny parts about that movie was the fact of the matter was they was trying to tell them about this little comet that was coming in. All right, but the politicians had a political game for telling them that, oh, there's nothing popping off like that. You're all right. Everything is cool. You know, they had how do I say, a political reason for saying those things, right? But nevertheless, hey, the scientists was like, hey, man, look, they was in traffic. They got out, like, that's what we was telling you about. Just look up. You know, and all you had to do at a certain point in time was just to actually look up. Use your own eyes. Look around what's going on around you, man. But most people nowadays, they don't want to look at these things. They don't want to hearken on, you know, not to say common sense, all right? Because, you know, ultimately you have to have spiritual eyes to see these things, all right? But nevertheless, you know, they don't want to, how do I say, take heed to the prophets. We'll put it that way, man. Because ultimately you have to have the Spirit of the Lord dealing with you to understand these things. In fact, let me grab that real fast. You have to have the Spirit of the Lord that's on you with these things, man. Let me read this and then we'll grab that other precept, Lord. It'll come back to me. Oh yeah, let me grab that real quick before I forget. Nevertheless, hey, you know, you even have a lot of these damn Edomites even see a lot of these things, man. You have these protests going on in what they call the freedom convoys out there in Canada and things like that. All right, spreading all over the world. I think they started one in France. They got the ones going on in America. All right, you have all these different people that's saying that they don't want to take this here juice, man. They don't want to hearken unto this here man's agenda and things like that, man. They want to so-called live free. So they see these things, you know, they don't know the whole truth. But nevertheless, they at least see some of these things, man. But what, for 2/3 of our people, man, they're blinded. They don't see these things, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, we're coming into a time, you know, Lord's will, we'll get that too, about what? The famine of the word. This series is going to be taken away from you. So what? You're not going to have anything to fall back onto, man. All right, but let me go ahead and grab this real fast in Matthew chapter 13. It's quite a bit. Let me jump around real quick. This is man. Let me just get to the point for time's sake. Matthew 13, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, "Who hath ears to hear, let him hear." All right, and what, for the most part, you do have some cases where people don't have an ear or something like that. But hey, for the most part, we all have ears, right? But that's not what it's talking about, man. We'll get further into what it's talking about. But hey, the ear to understand these things, man. All right, because you can say some of these things straight point blank to people, and if you understand the truth, all right, and you want to try to tell somebody about this, yeah, you know what it's like, man. You can tell these people till your face turn blue, and they still not gonna get it, man. You can show them right there on TV, but they still not gonna get it, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, he that hath the ear, let him hear. Jumping down, verse 10. "And the disciples came and said to him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? And he answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it's not given." All right, so hey, unto them it's not given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. All right, like the scripture also say, if our gospel be hid, it's hid to those that are lost. All right, this isn't for everybody, man. All right, this is only for the elect to be able to hear and to hearken, man. All right, because ultimately 2/3, they was the ones out there talking about some crucify him, let his blood be upon us and our children's, man. All right, so hey, they have to learn after death by pain, man. They have to go a different way, man. All right, but nevertheless, this is for the elect's sake, man, those that believed on the Lord, man. All right, but continuing on, jumping down to verse 13, it says, "Therefore do I speak to them in parables, because they see and see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand." All right, so hey, it's a sad thing when you see that a kingdom divided amongst itself. You got these damn Edomites that's enraged against these other Edomites when it comes to taking this here Jesus juice. All right, this Babylonian juice. They don't want to take it, but you got a lot of you jakes that's out here that's what? Man, we should take this, man. We should do this and that, man. But it's your same damn uncle. They should tell you that, hey, man, I don't trust the so-called white man because the so-called white man did this and did that to us. But yet and still, you got Dr. F out here. Dr. F boy out here, man. We'll put it that way, man. All right, just telling you about certain things, man. All right, hey, matter of fact, you had this other doctor, Dr. Drew. You had this comedian. I think her name was like Hillary McDonald or something like that, or Heather McDonald. She was making mockery. All right, talking about how she was double, triple jabbed up. All right, she had this and had that and made all these different jokes. And then she got to the point where she said, hey, when she used the word Jesus, hey, they heathens anyway. She said, clearly Jesus loves me the most. And then boom, fell and cracked her damn head, man. All right, then she got on to an interview with, I think his name is Dr. Drew or somebody like that. And she's saying, hey, I don't think I'm going to take that fourth little juicer, man. She was juiced up 3 times already. She said, I ain't taking that fourth one, man. But nevertheless, hey, even she's starting to see certain things like maybe this ain't the right thing for us, man. But you still have 2/3 of our people that's walking after these things, man. But they can see these things, they can see these signs that's going on and that's taking place, man. But yet and still, they're not taking heed to these things, man. Yeah, and granted, people are getting sick out here from certain things, but hey, people was getting sick from before these things, man. You had something called the flu beforehand where people were getting sick. All right, you had natural sicknesses and things like that where people were, catching, certain common colds and flus and things like that. But hey, nevertheless, they had the information coming out. We're not gonna get too far into that. We don't want them to take this here down. But hey, you had their own people from the CDC and things like that talking about how, hey, a lot of these people who want to dying, they had pre-existing things going on within them already, man. All right. Nevertheless, the regular people that was already healthy and things like that, got something in my beard here. But nevertheless, the people who already had something going on, they was all right. All right. You have different people around the globe catching these things, but hey, they want to be in fine. But nevertheless, let's continue on. Back in Matthew chapter 13, going back up to verse 13, Matthew 13 and 13, it says, "Therefore speak to I them in parables, because they see and see not, and hear and they hear not, neither do they understand." All right, and so going into these things, man, we can sit here and preaching to them till their face turns blue, but yet they're not gonna understand these certain things, man. They say, yeah, I heard those things before. They've been preaching about the end since my parents was in church. All right, and all these different things, but yet and still they don't see these things that's coming upon the earth, man. All right, there were certain signs that was supposed to be given. All right, when you see these things, let me see if I can grab that real quick in the book of Luke. There were certain things that would be happening, all right, especially on a global scale, man. These were the signs that was given. Let me read that verse, and also, let me start up at verse 9. I'm going to jump down. Luke 21 and 9, it says, But when you should hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by. And that's one of the major things that's in the news right now is what? The wars and the rumors of wars, man. You got Russia, which, Lord, we'll get into that a little later, but Russia doing nuclear drills today, man. All right? They started out with their nuclear drills, and you have that high tensions over there with the Ukraine and things like that, man. All right? Hey, but we're not saying World War III is going to pop off, right? You know, I mean, we technically in World War III, but a so-called hot war isn't going to necessarily just pop off over this Ukraine scenario, man. But these things are bringing us closer and closer and closer onto these times, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, we have other prophecies to be fulfilled. That's why we read a little earlier about how, you know, the vision is yet for an appointed time, man. All right, going into the Most High's time frame, into His schedule, man. All right, but these are the things, these are the signs we should be looking forward to, man. These are the things that we should be so-called measuring as far as the prophecies, man. All right. It says, let me keep reading on down, verse 10. Then said he unto me, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right, you know, you start out this year with a meteor shower and things like that. You have these eclipses and things going on. All right, you have all kind of different, how do I say, commotions going on, pestilence going on. Like I said, you have a global pestilence going on right now, man. All right, not only just the so-called pandemic, you have a global economic collapse that's going on right now, man. So all these things that were written about beforehand in the scriptures is signs of the times that the Lord's coming back and His return. All right, going back down to let me read verse 12, Luke chapter 21 verse 12. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, and it shall turn unto you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which your adversary shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And, you know, we're coming into those times, man. Great persecution, man. You know, you had certain jobs and things. Well, everybody was pretty much tried by this, you know, as to a certain extent, you know, with your jobs and the certain mandates and things like that, man. Hey, but the men of the Lord, they held firm, man. And guess what? You know, in a lot of these places, that grip started to lighten up, man. So what? You have a lot of people that so-called jump to take the little juice and things like that. But hey, then all of a sudden they was like, you know what? We're gonna throw these mandates out the window, man. It's unconstitutional and things like that. But guess what? A lot of these people who was not really rooted in the faith, they wound up throwing it all away just for that first sign of that first scare, man. All right, we ultimately know that there's gonna be a famine of the word. They're gonna want to try to round us up for preaching these here words, man. Hey, they already censoring us. What you got to with Jackie girl? What's her name? Susan with Jackie, the CEO of YouTube. You know, they're trying to fight for more and more mandates and things like that to censor the word from going out, man. Why? Because why? We're waking up the elect, man. All right, but nevertheless, let me finish this off. Jumping down to verse 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, and the seas and the waves roaring. Men's heart failing them for fear and looking for those things which are coming upon the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So, hey, you have distress of nations with perplexity. All right. Hey, so it says, and upon the earth distress of nations. So this is going to be a global thing that's going on, man. All right. So, hey, this is a time like never before, man. So going back into what we were reading in the book of Matthew about having the eyes to see and the ears to hear. All right. Hey, most people see these signs and they just think it's every day. All these things been going on since beforehand, man. All right. Oh, we've been talking about wars and rumors. There's always been wars and rumors of wars. But now, you know, you have Russia. You know, again, like I keep saying, Lord, we'll get into that. But, hey, we just flowing in the spirit. You know, if the Lord wants it to come out, it'll come out. But, you know, if not, we'll just continue flowing in the spirit. But nevertheless, you have them right now that are preparing for war, testing all these different weapons and things like that over in Russia. You have the talks between Moscow and NATO back and forth, back and forth. You know, you also even have these European countries that's talking on their behalf about those things, man. So they have a high tensions with war and things going on over there between the two big superpowers, man. And they're talking about them going with nuclear things, man. We hadn't really had these type of talks like that before up until now, man. All right, so, but again, these are all the signs that the Lord told us about before the time of His coming, man. All right, so let's go back to the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 14. Let me go back up to verse 13, Matthew 13 and 13. Therefore, I speak to them in parables, because they see and see not, and hear and hear not, neither do they understand. So as we read a little earlier in the book of Isaiah, about them dwelling carelessly and things like that, man. All right, they just dwelling carelessly, going on about their everyday lives. All right, they don't even really watch the news. They don't even take these things into consideration. All right, here we are talking about, on the mainstream media news. All right, thermal threats of not threats thermonuclear war, but superpower testing thermonuclear weapons, advancing new weapons and things like that, man. All right, also in the news, you got news of the chariots, man. All right, all these different things is going on. Global shutdown, global economic collapse, and things like that. And what people are still living carelessly on the earth, man. Going about buying and selling. All right, obviously you got to get your groceries and stuff, but I'm saying that because of this so-called big event they having out here, man. Where these people out here getting this, whatever they getting, art and things like that. But nevertheless, hey, man, they don't take it to heed, man. All right, they just walk on by and just keep on going on with their everyday life, man. But this is why we're reading here. This is only for the elect, man. All right, hearing with their ears, they hear these things, but they don't understand it. Seeing with their eyes, they see, but they don't understand these things, man. They just keep it on moving, man. Just keep on moving on, moving on. All right? But continuing on, Matthew 13 and 14, it says, "And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Elias, which says, By hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and not perceive." All right? And that's exactly what we have going on right now, man. All right? These people, like I said, they visually can see with their eyes, all right, and that's a little twofold, man, all right, because as I'm speaking right now, you have these people, like I said, man, it's just one of these little event weekends or whatever that's going on, but hey, they see and they hear what we talking about out here, man, all right, but yeah, they just walking on by, like nothing's going on, all right, but also in the news and things like that, man, you have the global pandemic, all right, you have the global collapse, when you go to the grocery store, you're seeing your food prices go up. You're seeing the different shortages and things like that in the grocery stores and things like that, but people aren't really taking these things to heed, man. All right, they think that things are just going to go back to normal, but things are getting worse and worse and worse as every day goes by. But nevertheless, they don't want to turn back into the Lord. They don't want to take heed to the words that was written in the scriptures, man. They take these things for granted, man. They think it's just going to blow over like times before, man. But these are the times that the Lord spoke about where the time's going to get worse. Let me go ahead and grab that real quick. This is Matthew 24. And this is Matthew 24 and verse 21 and verse 22. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be." All right, and so hey, we're coming into a time of great tribulation, man. Since there was never a nation until the same time, man. All right, this is a time like never before where you have on a global scale, man. Global sicknesses going on in the whole globe, man. Global warfare on the whole globe, man. All right, you have all these, what do you call not to say or we'll call it a global pandemic that's going on around the whole globe, man. All right, trying to juice up people, man. Get everybody under this one guise of their inoculation of things, man. All right, these things have never happened on the whole globe or globally like this to this extent, man. But yet and still, these things are going on every single day, and people aren't taking heed to these things, man. All right, let me go back. Matthew 24 and 21. "For then shall be great tribulation." All right, and that's what you see going on around the globe, man. What they call the mass resignation of America. All right, a lot of these people are losing their jobs, man. All right, not to say you have a lot of people resigning and quitting their jobs, but then you also have a lot of people being pushed out of their jobs, man. All right, you have a lot of these manufacturing companies shutting down or slowing down production. All right, you have what do you call it, the trucker strike. All right, the freedom convoys that they have going on, which is doing nothing but running up the price of your groceries in the grocery stores, man. All right, you have them putting metal detectors and things like that on meat inside of Walmart, man. All right, to the point to where they're having to so-called stop these people from stealing food, man. All right, this is getting real bad out here, man. But yet and still, people living their lives like everything is going on, like everything is going on, man. All right, not taking heed to the signs of the Lord is coming back, man. Everybody thinks that when the Lord come back, He's gonna just tell them in their face, hey, I'm about to come back tomorrow or something like that. But yet they don't want to take heed to the prophets, man. All right. It says, matter of fact, we didn't even read this earlier. Let me just jump down. Verse 36. Let me jump up and read all of this because we started reading this up a little earlier and started jumping around, but we're going to read it all the way down. Verse 32, it says, "Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When its branches yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door." All right, and that's where we're at now. You've seen all these signs that the Lord told us about beforehand. All right, they're all coming to pass right now, man. So we know that salvation and destruction is both at the door. Verse 34, "Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away." But of the day and the hour knoweth no man, no not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also the coming of the Son of Man be. For the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving into marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So again, man, they was gonna be eating and drinking, all right, and you know, they would be basically eating and drinking until, you know, the time when the Lord would come. Let me find this other precept. Where is it at? That was right here as well. But nevertheless, oh, maybe it's right here. But nevertheless, Lord's will, it'll come back to me. Hey, but nevertheless, you know, like in the times of Noah, man, you know, things were just going on like, hey, things weren't, you know, stirring up into the spirit, man. But hey, the Lord gave us all the signs of his comings and everything else like that, man. So what, we were supposed to take heed to those signs, man. We were supposed to be out here watching for these things, man. All right, again, they said that they don't know about the day or the hour, but what we read in, well, we can read both in Matthew and in the book of Luke about all these different signs of the Lord and his comings, man. All right, let's go back to Matthew 13. This is Matthew 13, and let me go back to verse 14. It says, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Elias, which saith, by hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and by seeing you shall see and not perceive. All right, and so look, these are the signs that was going forth, all right, that you know, that they would hear and they would see, but they wouldn't perceive, man. Everybody knows right now, you know, with these people that's walking by, you know, we could ask them, hey, do you think that we're in a regular time right now? Do you think that these times are normal? Do you think that everything is going on as, you know, things should be going? All right, they would say, nah, you know, they would probably all agree that we're living in some strange times and things like that, man. But yet and still, you know, you try to bring out the scriptures about these are the days that the Lord spoke about. These are the days that was set forth, you know, of the coming of the Son of Man. All right, they would say, nah. They would say, nah, no man knows the day or the hour, man. They will go back to what we was just reading. But yet they never read the whole scripture about what? The signs that would be around the times of the return of the Lord, man. They would negate all these different things. They would say that we wouldn't have these signs, man. But that's why the scriptures say that, let me grab that real quick. This is in the book of, oh, past it. This is this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And so, hey, that's the times that we're in right now. When they have the understanding of the thief in the night, you know, it's going into what? They don't, you know, if you was to watch at your house knowing somebody's going to break into your house, man, you would know exactly when the thief is coming, man. But it's like you have in your house, nowadays they have the Ring doorbells and things like that that'll show you when there's movement outside of your house. All right, you see when somebody's coming, man. But, hey, this is like those times, man. Let me read it again. It says, for your 1 Thessalonians 5 and 2, it says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. All right? Going into the fact of unexpectedly, man. All right? But it's not coming unexpectedly to us. All right? That's in the know. Why? Because we've been out here watching, man. Going back to what we're reading in Matthew 13. All right? The Lord gave opened up our eyes, gave us the eyesight to be able to see and understand these things that we're witnessing that's going on around us, man. To so-called be able to discern our environment, man. You have a lot of these people that's in this here environment that don't know anything that's going on, like these Christians with the pre-rapture tribulation, whatever doctrine they have going on. All right, they're saying that they're not going to see tribulation, man. But they're sitting here living in the tribulation as we speak right now, man. And they don't even perceive these things, man. They realize that their buying power at the grocery store is getting less and less. All right, they may have lost their job and things like that. They see all these things going on around them, but they can't perceive these things, man. All right, so going back, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1, it says, but of the times and the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. All right, and so again, coming unexpectedly, because why? A lot of people aren't watching and taking heed to the words of the Lord. And so, hey, that's why it's going to catch them unawares, man. All right, so continuing on, 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 3. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3 says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then suddenly destruction cometh upon them as travail a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, hey, you know, this is, again, the times that we're living in, you know, where, you know, you'll have people that will say, oh, no, those, you know, you go to your normal church, you try to bring these things out. They would say, no, those things aren't coming, man. You even have some camps out here saying that you're not going to see a tribulation and things like that, man. All right. But, hey, it's always the so-called quiet before the storm, man. All right. You even see that in certain movies where it's like, oh, it's quiet. It's too quiet. Then guess what? A big ambush comes out, man. All right. But these are the times that we're living in right now. Let me keep reading. Verse 4, but ye brethren are not in the darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. All right, going back into what we were just reading in Matthew. All right, we'll get back to that. But nevertheless, going back into that, man, hey, man, we've been out here watching, man. All right, the Lord has woken us up to watch, all right, and to warn you people, man. This is why, going back to the watchmen, man. All right, set up the watchmen that will not hold their peace day nor night, all right, and give them no rest. All right, we've been out here warning our people, man, of the impending danger, man. All right, this is what our jobs have been from day one, man. All right, to go out on the highways and the byways and to warn our people. Continuing on, it says, verse 5, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 5, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not the children of night or darkness. Let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. All right, and it's funny that I was watching this other movie called Awake. Right now, in that movie Awake, you know, I go ahead and spoil it for you because it's a no-name movie anyway. But anyway, it was a scenario that was going on where all these people wound up dying and everything else like that, right? Where they couldn't go to sleep. So they pretty much would wind up dying off after a couple of days because they was awake for so long and everything else like that, man. But nevertheless, the little girl, in the very beginning, they was in a car accident and she pretty much, the car fell into the water. She kind of drowned. They brought her back to life, right? So which represents her being born again, all right? She had to be born again. Now they found out that the brother, he wound up dying later on. They brought him back to life. They found out that the people had to die and had to be brought back to life or born again. You know, the spiritual meanings behind these things for them to be able to understand these things, man. Same with this here truth, man. All right, you can't come into that's why we say we come into this here truth, man. You be born again, you become a new person, man. And that's what it's talk about, being baptized, being washed with this here word, being born again. All right, because you don't have that old understanding. We talked about that new song. All right, the new song is what? Not the same thing that you've been taught about in these churches and things like that. But what? This is the new understanding coming into this here truth, man. You had to be born again. You had to be awake to these things, man. All right, you have these people that's walking by up and down. They hear what we're preaching about. All right, but nevertheless, they out here just smiling and shaking their heads, good job or whatever. And, you know, they know about the Bible and things like that, man. But nevertheless, they ain't taking no heed to these things, man. But they're drunk, all right? They're so-called sleeping to these things, man. All right, using these analogies, man. These are analogies, man. Not talking about you actually being drunk of wine and a strong drink. But no, they're drunk because of the fact of, again, you ask these people, they all go to church and they all would say, oh yeah, we believe in the Lord and the prophets and things like that. But yet they walk right past the prophets. They walk right past somebody that's so-called stranger to them, all right, and doing something different than what they actually heard before, a new message. They walk right on by. You know, they shake their head, good job, or whatever. They might ride by, say shalom, you know, but they don't want to take heed. They don't want to hearken. This is why we was reading in Matthew 13 about the kingdom was, it wasn't given unto them. This is why we're speaking to them in parables, man. This is why certain things was only given unto the elect. This is why we always say this is for the elect's sake only. All right, but let me go back. 1 Thessalonians 5, let me finish this off. Verse 6, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. All right. For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. All right. Who died for us, whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. So, hey, going into, hey, we can keep reading on down, but nevertheless, going into these things, man, let me finish reading, because, you know, this is going into the topic of what we're talking about as far as, hey, warning our people while we're coming out on the highways and the byways and all these different things, man. All right. Verse 11, it says, wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another as also ye do. So what? We're comforting one another with these words because, hey, man, you may see certain things in the news, and the media hearing about certain things. Hey, man, they mandating certain stuff at the job and so on and so forth. What do we do? How are we going to eat if I lose my job? How are we going to do these things, man? Hey, man, comfort yourself with these things, man. The Lord's servants are going to wind up eating. Lord's will grab that as well, too. All right, but, hey, the scriptures say comfort one another with these here words, man. Tell you that the Lord has a way out for his elect, man. All right, he has, let me read it again. 1 Thessalonians 5:9, it says, for the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. So he hasn't set us forth for wrath, but for salvation, man. So this is why we're supposed to be comforting one another with these here words that the Lord spoke unto us, man, to give us comfort in these trying times that we're coming into, man. We read about the times of the Great Tribulation. We read about also about a great tribulation that's coming upon the whole earth. All right, and again, you may be shaken about certain of these things, but what? Scriptures say, jumping back down, verse 11, wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as you do also. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and which are over you in the Lord, and admonish you, and esteem them very highly, and love for their work's sake, and be at peace among one another. So now, nevertheless, you know, going back into all these things, man, we're supposed to be comforting one another with these here words, man. All right, letting one another know about these things. Again, going into warning, all right, the elect, man. All right, warning them to turn from your wickedness. Hey, man, you got but a short time, man. You got to stop doing what you're doing. Turn back unto the Lord, man. All right, you need to come in and rest with us, man. Come rest with the Lord, man. Start, you know, trimming your ways so that you may be counted worthy for salvation, man. All right, salvation is right around the corner. All right, but yet and still, what? 2/3 of our people, they're not going to see these things. They're not going to understand these things. They're not going to be able to catch these things. But what? The elect, they're going to hear these things. They're going to understand these things, man. They're going to cleave unto these here words, man. All right, they're going to seek out salvation, all right, with fear and trembling, man. All right, they're going to be seeking the Lord 10 times more. All right, they're going to, oh, shit, I done woke up to the fact that what I've been learning has been lies the whole time anywhere in this Christianity, man. All right, the Lord is only coming to save, first and foremost, his people, who are the Israelites, who what we done broke down in the scriptures are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, the downtrodden, the lost sheep, man. You're the only people that don't know who you are, man. There was that falling away, man. They made the name of Israel be no more remembrance, man. You fit all these prophecies, man. This is that new song. You've never heard this before. So what? You have to wake back up, you know, going into what? The valley of the dry bones, man. All right, showing you who you are according to the scriptures, man. Putting that life back inside of you, man. All right, you being born again, man. See, now all these here so-called terms that you've been hearing your whole life makes more sense, man. All right, being born again. All right, becoming a new man. Being baptized. All these different things with the word, man. You being washed away from, you know, being baptized could be akin to what they would say being brainwashed, man. Because you was born where? In the valley of the shadow of death, man. Here in Babylon, where everything is confusion, man. They've been teaching you confusion your whole life. But what? You have to wash yourself, man. Cleanse yourself. Because that's what, you know, physically, what, you know, the physical act of baptizing somebody, you know, if you was to play out what they doing, you know, they dunking you in the water. What happens when you go take a bath, man? All right, you go out, you waddle in the mud and shit like that. You go home, or let's say you got your car, right? And you've been going mudding and shit like that. What's the application of water doing to your car? It's washing it, it's cleansing it, right? So it's the same way when you dunk somebody into water, like you're taking a bath, you're doing that to what? To cleanse your ways, right? Now, how is dunking somebody in the water going to cleanse them from their sins and everything else like that, man? It doesn't. All right, it's metaphorically, man. But you're supposed to baptize yourself with this here word, man. This word is supposed to make you clean, man. Bring you back into the Lord, man, so you can serve the Lord in righteousness, man. All right? Because, again, you was born into this here place of sin where they teach you can eat pork and everything. But, hey, when you come back to the law, statutes, commandments, you learn you ain't supposed to be doing those things, man. All right? But let's get back on topic. All right? Matthew chapter 13 and verse 15. All right? Going back into them seeing and hearing, but they don't understand, again, there's things that's going on around them, man. All right? It says, Matthew 13 and 15, for this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have they closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their hearts, and should be converted, and I shall heal them. All right, and so this is what we're talking about with 2/3 of our people, man. All right, they can see with their eyes. All right, they can see, you know, again, going in twofold, man. They can walk by, ride by, see us out here on the highways and the byways, man. Some of them know who we are. You know, they'll shout out the window, shalom, and things like that. Or they'll walk by, see something strange, and they may just sit at the end of the block or, you know, right in front of you and listen for a little minute. Oh, yeah, that sound about right. Then they just keep it moving, man. All right? But then again, they can also see, you know, the times that we're living in, All right, we're in different times in the world, so to say, man. All right, everything ain't what it seems to be out there, man. All right, like I said, a lot of people know that there's something strange going on out there as far as, hey, living in these times now is not like living 5 years ago. So they notice something is different. But they still don't understand that we're in a time, you know, you ask me, hey, you think we're in the end of the world? Some of them may say, yeah, I think we're in the end of the world. But they don't want to change nothing about their life, man. They want to keep on going with their wickedness, man. All right, or they say, oh, I don't know, man. Things have always been like this. You know, it's always getting good and getting bad, man. All right, you know, I got a customer that I talk to all the time. He always makes this analogy about, you know, things happen, and it's almost like he gives the analogy of a rubber band. Things are getting stretched so far that he's afraid that one day it's gonna, you know, like that rubber band pops. You know, you playing with a rubber band, then all of a sudden it pops. You might get popped with it or something like that. He makes that analogy all the time, but yet and still, hey, he don't quite know what the hell going on. He went out there and got that damn Jesus juice and everything else like that. Not saying that he was gonna be saved anyway, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? They perceive certain things is going on, but yet they can't quite put two and two together, more or less to say, man. All right, but let's go on. Keep going. Verse 16 says, blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. All right, so, hey, and going, you know, into those things, man, you know, when we heard this here song, like we was reading in Revelation 14, we heard this song, we heard this, we woke up, and we followed after the Lord after, you know, after first hearing these things, man. All right, but what? Again, you can preach this, you know, till you blue in the face to 2/3 of our people. They're not gonna get it, man. Yeah, that sound good, but then they just keep on going with their wickedness, man. They keep on going with their so-called going-ons in this here world, man. Keep going on with their folly, man. All right, they keep on trusting in their enemy. Let me grab that real quick. I had that holding on. Let me read this in the book of Isaiah chapter 30. Start at the top real fast, because again, man, hey, this is like the doings of our people, man. All right, they're a rebellious people, man. They don't want to necessarily hearken. Let me grab that first real fast in Ezekiel 3 before I get into that, and we'll come back grab something different. This is Ezekiel 3. Just trying to get to the point. Matter of fact, it's better in 2. Let me read Ezekiel 2 and verse. Let me just start at the top and read to verse 5. Ezekiel 2 and 1. It says, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me, and when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, and I heard him that spake unto me, and he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel. So first and foremost, what? This was given unto the children of Israel, all right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American. But what? Only the elect will hearken, all right? Only the elect and 1/3 will hearken unto this here word, man. 2/3, they would we're going to read about them in Isaiah. 2/3, they wouldn't hearken, man. They want to plug their ears, man. They want to so-called be in their comfort zone, man. Because, hey, when you hear about this here truth, man, it brings you up out of your comfort zone. Because why? You have to be born again. All right? You was already born in this Babylonian world where it's do as thou wilt, man. Do whatever you want to go and do, man. Do whatever is pleasing unto the flesh. All right? But what? When you come into the truth, you have to be what? A disciple of the Lord, man. You have to be disciplined, man. You have to change your ways, man. You have to start working on, how do I say, creating that new man inside of you, man. The old man dieth every day, so you have to so-called create, you know, that new man daily, man. All right? This wind blowing. But continuing on, Ezekiel 2 and verse 3, it says, and he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this day. All right, and so what? The children of Israel is known as a rebellious nation, man. Rebellious children, man. They don't want to hearken, man. They hard-headed, man. Like I said, hey, you tell this to all these other nations and things like that, they'll hearken, they'll listen. Yeah, I understand that, man. You know, you see it all the time on the highways and the byways when we out here preaching it to our people, man. All right, you can preach out here to Jake, you know, or you can preach out here to Jake, and Jake don't want to hear it, man. They want to fight you over these words. They want to fight you over these things and everything else like that, man. But when you speak up to Esau and things like that, they'll sit there and listen. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I hear these things going on and so on and so forth, man. But yet and still, when you talk to Jake, they're a rebellious nation. They hard-headed, man. All right, they well, what about this? What about that? Man, what about you, man? We talking about you right now, man. One of the main things they say is, hey, man, if Esau can't be in the kingdom of heaven, I don't want to go. You know, like, well, Esau wasn't worried about you when he was getting into the kingdom of heaven. Why you worried about him? And, you know, when you want to get technical about it, he's going to be there, but just not in the capacity you think. Just like you in his kingdom of heaven, but not in the capacity as you think. You're not living it up in your paradise right now, man. This is your hell. You serving him, you know. It's like the janitor at the White House. Yeah, he in the White House, but he ain't in the White House like the president in the White House, man. All right, he ain't really calling no shots up in there, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, that's you know, the hard-headedness of Jake out here, man. The stubbornness of them. You've been at the bottom the whole time. Now, it is that new song, that gospel that's being preached, the good news. All right, telling you, hey, this is your time to rise up, man. The valley of the dry bones being put back together. But yet, Jake don't want to hear these things, man. Nah, if my enemy can't go right there with me, nah, we want to be preaching love to everybody else and everything. Hey, man, they're going to be all right, man. Don't worry about them right now. Worry about you, man. Worry about getting your salvation, man. But Jake don't want to hear these things, man. All right? But we was talking about them believing in all these different things and seeing all these different things, man. All right, we was talking about this so-called pandemic. They see these conditions going on around the world, man. They see a global economic collapse, global war, all right, global pandemics, all right, love of many waxing cold on the whole earth, man. You have all these different things that's going on around the globe right now. Jake can see these things, but what they choose not to hear about these things, man. They choose not to watch it. They say, hey, man, turn that negativity off. I'm tired of watching about all this death and destruction on the news and all these different things. We don't want to hear about that, man. We want to hear about something good, all right? So going into Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1, it says, woe to the rebellious children. Oh, Salat, because I didn't even finish reading this. Going back to Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 3. It says, and he said unto me, son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me even to this day. For they are impudent children, stiff-hearted. I do send you to thee. So like, I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power. So, hey, look, we've been sent to our people to tell them and to warn them about these things. But what? They're hard-headed, stiff-necked. They don't want to hear these things, man. They don't want to hearken unto the words of the Lord. All right, they didn't want to hearken. This says, they and their fathers haven't hearkened unto me, man. Verse 5, it says, let me read 4 again. It says, for they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, and they, whether they will hear, or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. They and their fathers, they are a rebellious house, yet they shall know that there have been a prophet among them. All right, so it's going to come a point in time where they're going to know that a prophet had been among them. All right, but what? They're going to have to learn that to death by pain, man. All right, but nevertheless, it's going to be that sting that's going to hit them, man. All right, they're going to, you know, they come and they listen. Matter of fact, let me grab that while I'm here. And 33. Could have brought this out a little earlier. But nevertheless, you know, you'll have some of our people that'll come and they'll listen. But they listen for the wrong reasons, man. They'll listen for entertainment purposes. All right, they'll hear us cussing out the so-called white man. They think, oh yeah, man, let's go on. So, hey, but when you come to the truth, it's more than just cussing out the so-called white man. All right, because really, that's our adversary anyway, man. We can go on about him and his bullshit every day, man. But what we was reading earlier about how the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy, man. All right, that's what's more important about all these things, man. Esau will fall in due time, man. You don't have to do nothing towards him, man. We're not a so-called hate group where we're talking about what we're going to do to him, man. Hey, man, the Most High been exacting his numbers perfectly fine, and we ain't had to raise up no hand or nothing like that towards him, man. We ain't had to do nothing to him. But what? The Most High's been taking him out of his power seat as we speak, man, and collapsing his so-called kingdom, man. All right? This Ezekiel 33 and verse 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people are still talking against thee by the walls and the doors of the house, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, to hear what the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And they come unto thee as thy people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but with their heart they go after their covetousness, man. And so that you see a lot of these people, like I said, they'll rob by, you know, they'll wind up so-called recognizing us, you know, and they'll shalom us, you know, or rob by, give it a little salute or whatever. But yet they don't want to give the time of day to hearken, to listen. All right, you know, you'll have You know, like I said, they'll ride by real quick or ride by a couple times, you know what I'm saying? Circle the block. Hey, but they don't want to give like 2 or 3 minutes over here, man. But hey, you have Esau that'll walk by and they'll stop, kind of listen to what you're saying and keep it moving, man. At least Esau stay here a little bit longer than what these Jakes is out here doing, man. But so they'll pretty much walk by and listen for entertainment purposes, watch on YouTube for entertainment purposes. You know, you title your video about Esau getting slayed, Esau going into chains, and something such to these Edomite devils. Man, hey, they'll watch that shit like you'll get 1,000 views, man. But look, you'll sit there and title your videos with actual scriptures, all right? You know, this is why I do label a lot of my videos, pretty much all of my videos for the most part, with just the scripture that I'm going into, man. All right, to weed out all that entertainment watchers, man. Hey, man, you come here for the sincere milk. If you clicking on something that just has a verse, a piece of a scripture that's titled the video, man. All right, it's not for entertainment purposes. It's for your building up, man, for your edification's sake, man. All right, let's continue on. Verse 33, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song, is one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they will not do them. Again, like I said, for entertainment purposes, man. They'll listen, read certain things, or they'll look at you like, yeah, man, you hitting them precepts, you know that Bible, all good. They'll hear all these things, man, but hey, that should be a so-called assignment to you as well, man. Is how we can go into these scriptures and pull out certain things, man. You'll ask us a question or two, and we'll go right into the scriptures and know right where certain things are at, man. All right, and pull it right on out. Answer your questions with the scriptures, man. You know, I was talking to somebody about these things beforehand, and they were saying, you know what? I'd rather listen to you about these things than to their own relatives that's actually into the church, because when they ask them a question about something in the scriptures, they just go into what they think and what they feel and how they understand certain things. But then they'll ask me about it, and they'll be like, look, well, let me grab the Bible real quick and start going into the scriptures about it. You know, they're like, well, you can at least show me where it say this in the Bible at, man. Whatever question I have, you go directly into the Bible about it, man. All right? Because what? That's somebody that's sincerely desiring the truth, man. Not just what you have to say about or having itching ears and having those smooth things to say to them, man. All right? Verse 33, and lo, and when this cometh to pass, and lo it will come, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. All right, because ultimately, you know, they're going to know that a prophet had been among them when all these things come to pass. What they heard it beforehand, man. They've heard these things being talked about beforehand. They heard all these different things. They've been hearing about these things. It's going to come back to so-called bite them. All right, man, I've been hearing about this from when I was a young person and everything else like that. I've been hearing about the day of the Lord coming to pass. But now, look, now, you know, this is coming to prick them therewith, man. All right, because they've been told about these things, but they didn't want to hearken unto these things, man. They didn't want to listen to these things. They didn't want to take it serious at that point in time, man. They were still dwelling carelessly and things like that, man. Living their regular life, living it up, man. Quote unquote, living their best life, man. It was 2019 we were saying about that, man. All right, they was living their best life, but then now you had 2020 come around. It was all quiet and silence. All right, everybody was living in fear. All right, fear and trembling and not of peace. All right, what? You still have Jacob Trouble coming around the corner, man. And we still warning our people about these things, but you have 2/3 of our people that's still out here taking these things for games, man. Taking it for granted, man. All right, don't want to hearken unto the Lord. Don't want to come back unto the Lord. All right. Oh, I got time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Hey, but what? These things are gonna come upon you as a thief in the night, man. All right. But let me go back to what we're reading in Isaiah 30. All right. I was reading about these rebellious ass people out here, man. I'm talking about our people, man. All right. Again, you have a lot of these other nations that's taking heed to some of these certain things that's going on, but it wasn't given unto them to understand the whole truth and understand these things, man. It says Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. All right, and that's one of the major sins that our people are committing, man. They'll take heed to certain things and certain ways of being, but they won't take the heed of the Lord, man. Take heed from the prophets, man, the real prophets, man. They'll go to these churches and things like that and listen to these how do I say, these smooth talkers and things like that. These old pimps and things like that, telling them certain smooth things to make them feel good about themselves, man. We can read this further on down in the chapter, how they want to be prophesied to them smooth things, all right, things that make them feel good. They'll go to their pastors in their churches and they'll listen to them, all right, that's telling them smooth things and everything else like that to make them feel good about themselves. Oh, the Lord wants you to prosper. The Lord wants these things for you. All right, the Lord wants those things for you. They'll listen to these things and they'll hearken to those things. But when the real prophets come out and warn them about these things coming to pass, they don't want to take heed to those things, man. They don't want to take heed to the men of the Lord that's actually coming out of the actual Bible, man. All right, you go to your church and they'll open up the Bible, they'll read a psalm or two, and they'll sit there and sing and they'll dance, man. But day in and day out, we just come out of the scriptures, man. That's all we reading. We just reading the Bible all day long and telling you about these things, but they don't want to hearken unto these things, man. All right, but then they'll also take heed to these other folks out here, man. These basically our number one adversaries, man. Whatever they tell you, you take heed to them, man. You jump through hoops and loops for them. But what, for the Lord, you don't want to take heed to what the Lord has to say, man. All right. But again, going back to our people being a rebellious people, man, they're hard-headed people. Just like when you have a child, man, they got to learn after you wind up disciplining them, man. I told you not to be jumping on that bed. I told you not to be jumping on the couch. I told you to clean your room or whatever. But then they don't want to listen to what? They have to find out after, your parent come over there and all right, now you want punishment now. Now I'm taking away the video game and things like that. Now they want to start sniffling and crying. But, hey, we told you beforehand you didn't want to hearken, all right? Going back, Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1 again. Woe unto the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering. Hold on, Salak. That cover with the covering, but not of my Salak here. But not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin. All right, so hey, they cover with the covering, but not of the Lord's spirit, man. The Lord is trying to cover you with his spirit of righteousness, man. Telling you how to do things in a righteous way and telling you what? The truth. Like the scriptures say, hey, you should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. But what? Our people want to keep cleaving unto these lies and these things like that, man. It's bringing them death and destruction, man. How did you get into this place to begin with, man? Listening to these lies from Jump Street, all right? You've been hearkening unto your adversaries, the devil, all right? And these things have brought you down, what? A path of lies, death, and destruction, man. You have certain scenarios where, hey, oh, just take this here jab and you'll be all right, and you ain't got to take another one. But now you got to take 4, 5, 6, 7,000 different boosters and things like that, man. All right? Hey, he told you everything was going to be all right. You take this, you can keep your job. The next thing you know, your whole job been shut down and everything else like that, man. It's like, let this madness go on by. But nevertheless, hey, man, the Lord is upset with his people, man. All right, I'm going to grab this other precept after that. We done? I'm going to probably hit this shit again. Let me grab this precept while that passes by. You missed the turn. But nevertheless, let's go back. Isaiah 30. 30:1, it says, woe unto the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that they... It says, woe unto the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that they may cover what they covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin unto sin. All right, and so what? Again, you have this time that this great tribulation is coming upon the earth, all right? And then everybody's trying to hide and try to escape from these things, these perils that's coming on the earth, man. They're trying to escape from these different things. You had the media and everything have a campaign telling you about everybody getting sick and what you got to do to so-called get out of these things, man. We read earlier about how he's coming with his signs, his lying wonders, and all these different things, man. Just take this here, the little juice, and everything's going to be all right. Stay home for a couple of weeks, and everything's going to be all right. Put this here mask on, and everything's going to be all right. But what wound up happening, man? Your businesses got shut down. Your jobs laid you off, all right? You got to follow these mandates to go back to work. Then once you go and get these things that they mandated, you got your little your potion, right? They tell you, oh, you don't need the mandate no more. But now the poison is already seeping in through your skin, man. It's already seeping in through your veins and everything else like that, man. They already got you, man. All right, but what? You should have just took counsel of the Lord, man. We've been warning you about these things before the so-called year of this little pandemic came around, that this was his plan, his agenda the first time anyway, man. But what? You wanted to not listen to what they say, how they say it, you telling us about this, not destruction, stop talking to us about this, they have a different word for it, but they say, negativity. Stop talking to us about this negativity and everything else about that. You always talking about negativity. Hey, man, it's not negativity when we out here warning you, man. You don't sit there and tell the weatherman, hey, man, let's say the weatherman and Hurricane Katrina, right? They was telling them, hey, look, man, y'all need to evacuate, man. It's going to be massive flooding, man. It's going to be a major storm, man. Now when you see the bodies floating down the damn street and everything else like that and everybody flooded out, you didn't say the weatherman was talking negativity to you. He was like, no, he was trying to warn you people of the impending danger of the destruction that was coming. And again, like we started out, that's what we was out here to do, man, to warn our people of this destruction, man. The devil is coming down until you having great wrath. He knows he has but a short time, man. He knows that these things, his time is coming to an end. So what? He's going to try to fulfill his belly, all right, which is what? Setting up his new world order. But we also opened up with that. The Lord's going to disappoint the device of the crafty, man. All right, he's going to bring that all to an end. All right, he's going to see forth that, he don't set up his so-called enterprise. All right, but let me continue on reading. All right, but nevertheless, hey, let's also go into this. Like I said, man, they listening to Dr. Frankenstein, all right, about how he can sit there and save them on these certain things. But now you seeing all these different people with their adverse effects, man. Like I said, the comedian lady who fell out and busted her head, man. All right, and all these other folks that you seen these side effects with, all right. Seem like the only people that's catching these here, these different things are what? The people that wind up taking this here juice, man. All right. The ones that fell for this here, these lies and these lying wonders, man. All right, the so-called be a so-called guinea pig or experiment, man. But continuing on in Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2, it says, let me go back up to 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that they may cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down to Egypt, and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So this is what our people are doing, putting their trust in the shadow of Egypt, man. Putting their trust into their oppressors, man. This is the place that, hey, man, you people are all in these conditions because of who put you here, man. Who done raised up all the taxes and the prices of the food and put GMO foods on all your grocery store shelves, man. Tainted all your waters, man. All right, got everybody eating cancerous foods and things like that, man. All right, everybody on some kind of antidepressant drug, man. Who put all this here stuff into the works, man? But yet you want to go into the same false physician, man. Pseudo physician, man, the so-called heal you and make sure you safe and you whole in these times, man. But then again, look at all the people who's suffering from these things. Oh yeah, there's some people with side effects, breakthrough, what they call it, breakthrough, certain breakthrough cases. People that's been juiced up 4 or 5 times, still catching the scenario, or still having certain effects, man. Like how they wind up catching the scenario, man, when they done been triple juiced up and everything else like that, man. All right, and you know I can speak, you know. Not trying to speak on certain type of ways, but hey, you know, we have faith in the Lord. But hey, man, we've been around some of these people sometimes inadvertently and things like that, but we wind up being all right. You know what I'm saying? And even though you may or may not, you may get sick, but what the Lord can deliver you from these things, man. But how much more these other people that put their trust in the shadow of Egypt, man? All right, let me read the next verse, verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. All right, so hey, man, this is gonna be your downfall, man. This is gonna be your shame, man. All these people who say, man, I went out here like the comedian lady. She was making a joke about how she was triple juiced. She did this and she did that, and she even got her little shingles vaccine or whatever. But then wound up falling right out on stage and busting her head, man. Everybody laughed and joked, thought it was part of the skit, but then, hey, lo and behold, it wasn't part of the skit, man. They was calling for help and everything else like that. She was in the hospital. Then she was talking to Dr. Drew, and she told Dr. Drew she wasn't going around for the 4th round and things like that, man. All right. Let me read this real quick, and I'm going to grab this other precept real fast. In Isaiah 30 and verse 9, it says, this is a rebellious people. All right, keep going into that same term, a rebellious people, man. They don't want to hearken. They don't want to listen, man. All right, it would have been one thing if we could have just came out on the highways and the byways and just told our people one time and one time only, and that was it, man. But no, we have to constantly keep telling our people, warning our people over and over and over again. This is why our message is the same message over and over and over and over again. Week in and week out, we say the same thing, man. Why? Because we're talking to rebellious people, man. It's like talking to rebellious children. How many times you have to tell rebellious ass children, hey, man, pick up your clothes, man. Clean your room, man. Turn off that TV, man. Take out the trash, man. You have to keep constantly telling them that because why? We're rebellious people, man. All right? Isaiah 30 and 9, this is a rebellious people, lying children. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord. All right? Hey, they got a zeal, but not according to the Most High, man. All right? Not according to knowledge, man. All right? They go after them with their mouths, with lip service. All right? But when it comes to time to put forth action, they ain't there, man. All right? They don't show up for the Lord, man. All right? Verse 10, would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy unto us not right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So they want the prophets to lie to them, to prophesy lies and things like that unto them, man. Because why? They don't want to hear the truth, man. They don't want to be prophesied unto them the right things. They say, so-called, stop telling us about this negativity, man. You bring out the news and certain things about, certain things that's going on in the news. They don't want to hear about that, quote, in their words, negativity, man. This is what their response is. It says, verse 10, would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. So this is what they wind up saying to the prophets, man. Prophesy to us deceit. Tell us everything is going to be all right. Don't tell us that bad things are coming. So again, going back to the weatherman in Hurricane Katrina, nobody said that he was saying anything bad. He was like, hey, I'm warning y'all, man. It's about to be mass flooding, man. All right, people are going to die out here, man. That's what's going to happen. Nobody looked at him as he was saying anything bad. We telling you the same thing. Hey, man, Lord coming back. All right, the devil's coming down into you having great wrath. He's gonna bring great destruction and all these different things, man. All right, he's gonna try to put you into basically so he can reign over you, man. He's gonna try to put his chip up inside of you, man. We've been warning you about these things, man. All right, but yet and still, the people don't want to take heed to these things, man. They say that we over here just making up certain things, or they don't want to, they say, oh well, if this happens, let me just die in my own, into oblivion. Some of these people say, yeah, that might be it, but look, I just need to be able to eat for today. I need to be able to continue on. In fact, that's what I was about to grab next. I dropped it, but let me grab that next. But nevertheless, this is what they're out here saying, man. All right, and I can grab this Proverbs as well too. This is Isaiah chapter 65. All right, because look, we read earlier about comfort one another with these here words. All right, and how yeah, it sounds like things as bad as coming down the block. But let me grab this verse too. Quite a few precepts coming to mind. Let me just load up on them real quick. Slack, give me a second so I don't forget about what I'm trying to grab. Read Proverbs, Isaiah, and Jeremiah. All right, so first we're going to read in the book of Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 30. This is Jeremiah chapter 30. I'm going to start at verse 5. All right, because again, they go into what prophesying us to us smooth things, right? Prophesying to us deceit. They don't want to hear about the truth of the things that's coming, man. They want to only hear about the smooth things. They only want to hear about so-called prosperity. Jesus loves everybody and everything else like that. But ultimately, the Lord is telling you about, warning the people, man. All right, warning of the impending danger that's coming down the pipeline, man. All right, warning the people of impending danger, man. So they may be saved. Look, going back into Noah and Noah's ark, man. Noah was out on the highways and the byways preaching unto the people for 120 years, man. Telling the people that, hey, the Lord's about to flood the earth, man. Get right so you can get on this here ark. But the people didn't want to hearken. They didn't want to listen. And they didn't want to take heed, man. They made fun of them. They laughed. They joked. They scoffed. All right, until what? The times when the flood came and took them all away, man. All right, so what? The only sign you're going to be given is what? The sign of the prophets, man. All right, the sign of what? Noah, the prophets, man. So the prophets are out here telling you again, just like in the times of Noah. All right, you have the sign, the sign of homeboy building this big old ark, man. All right, the whole time he's building this here ark, it's something strange to the people, man. But they didn't want to hearken into that until what? The Lord closed the ark. All right, and then the rain started coming. So let's go back into the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." And so, hey, this is the times that we're coming in right now, man. You see what's going on around the globe, man. People are afraid of the things that's coming to pass. All right, people don't know if they're going to have a job tomorrow. If they're going to be sick tomorrow. If they're going to be well tomorrow. If they're going to see their loved ones tomorrow, man. All right, it's a time of trembling and of fear right now, man. All right, it's not a time of so-called peace, man. All right, people should be asking these questions when they go into their churches and things like that. What's going on, man? All right, but your normal pastors are just out there asking for money. All right, asking for for you to lace their pockets and things like that so you can feel good, man. All right, again, we just read about how our people say prophesying to us deceit, prophesying to us lies, man. They want to hear about the so-called smooth things, man. They don't want to hear about the rough truth, man. Who goes to the doctor when they know they got an illness and say, hey, doc, just lie to me. Tell me everything gonna be all right, man. Don't tell me I got this here illness or this disease where if I don't take care of it, I'm gonna die by next week, man. No, they just like, look, doc, tell me the truth, man. All right, tell me what's really popping out here because of the fact that, hey, man, I need to take care of myself. If I got to take this here surgery, let me go with this here surgery so I'll be all right, man. All right, hey, those that are already whole, they don't need a physician, man. That's why they say prophesying to us deceit, man. They think they got everything all right. They think that everything is going to be fine with them, man. All right, but, hey, nevertheless, they're pretty much marking themselves, man. All right. Matter of fact, another precept came to my mind. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I want to say it's... right here. Salaki. Let me see if I can find this precept. Otherwise, we'll come back to it. But nevertheless, you know, they pretty much, I thought it was right here in Isaiah 54. Might be Isaiah. Nevertheless, we'll just continue on. Lord's will, it'll come back to me where it's at. It's over here in Isaiah somewhere, though. But nevertheless, let me try one more. Nah, but nevertheless, hey, man. All right, here's that precept I was going to grab. Nevertheless, these are the times that, you know, we're telling you the so-called, the bitter truth, man. All right, like I said, we was just reading about how they say prophesying to us deceit, prophesying to us lies, and things like that. But we're here to tell you the so-called God ugly truth, man. Matter of fact, let me look this up real quick. This is in Isaiah 28. This is Isaiah 28. Isaiah 28 and read verse 15, it says, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell we are in agreement. And when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. All right, and so, hey, that's what, you know, 2/3 of our people are doing, man. They say prophesying to us lies, prophesying to us deceit, prophesying to us, you know, the smooth things. Don't tell us the truth. Tell us about, you know, the so-called smooth things that's coming to pass, man. Make us feel comfortable in our skin, man. Like I say, if we was to go into these churches and, you know, tell our people about these things like that, they wouldn't basically give you so-called tithes and offerings, man. They'd pretty much just sit there and walk away from you, man. But nevertheless, hey, we out here telling them the truth. They want to say, oh, we got a devil on us or something else like that. Or they want to walk by, hey, man, your word's a little too strong for us. All right, this is also, jumping down, Isaiah 28 and 18, it says, and your covenant of death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, and you should be trodden down by it. All right, so, hey, man, going into that, man, hey, they've made lies their refuge, man. They wanted to hide into these here lies, man. They wanted to make this falsehood their so-called salvation instead of coming into the truth of the Lord, man. All right, going back to the times of Noah and the ark, man. All these people wanted to make their lives their safe spot. Oh, it ain't gonna rain. Nothing like that's gonna happen. At that point in time, they never seen rain come from the sky, man. So they say, hey, it's not gonna rain. They made lives their refuge. So we don't have to try to so-called discipline ourselves and change our ways. We can keep living however we want to live according to the flesh. All right, they didn't want to hearken unto Noah. But guess what? When the ark doors were closed and the rain started coming down, then they had to change their heart, man. Then all their so-called lies and their falsehood came in like a flood, and then guess what? It physically came in like a flood and flooded them out, man. So the same thing in these times now, man, where they say, oh, don't prophesy to us the right things, tell us lies and deceits, man. Don't tell us about this negativity and things like that, man. All right, when these things actually come to pass, all right, when these things actually start hitting them like a storm, all right, then they're going to know that a prophet had been among them. Then they're going to know that these things that we told them before was true and righteous, man. Then they're going to know that we've been telling them the truth the whole time, man. All right, let me go back to Jeremiah chapter 30 and 5. All right, because these are the times that we're living in, man. All right, and our people, they just don't want to hearken, man. But what? You have to come to the Lord. The Lord said, hey, comfort one another with these here words, man. There is a way out, man. All right, Noah wasn't just telling them, hey, man, it's going to flood out there. All right, you know, it's going to be a flood out there and everybody going to die. And there's no way out, man. Nah, he was like, hey, man, if you get right, you know, we read a little bit about this in Ezekiel. We can get back to it. Matter of fact, let me just hit on that real quick as a quick little point. Because there is a way out. But what? You have to hearken unto the Lord. All right, this is... Ezekiel 3 and verse, let me start back at 17. It says, we read this a little earlier, but I'm going to read it a little further down. 3 and 17, Son of man, I've made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning to speak, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways, the same to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but the blood will I require at thy hand. So, hey, look, the blood's getting off our hands by warning you people. But the point I want to grab is in the next verse. Verse 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked ways, he shall die in his he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. All right. So basically, you know, going into let me read verse 21 as well too. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man and the righteous, that the righteous sin not, and that he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned, also has he delivered thy soul. So, hey, man, you know, there's a way out. You know, Noah wasn't just preaching, hey, y'all gonna just die out there, man. No, we're not out here just telling you that. We're telling you what? Come back into the Lord, man. But what? 2/3 of our people are making lies their refuge, man. They're saying, hey, prophesying to us smooth things. Don't tell us about what the truth is. Don't tell us about this negativity. Tell us about how we can get up out of these things, man. Or tell us what's gonna make us comfortable in these things, man. All right, so going back to Jeremiah 30, we're going into setting the, how do I say, the stage of the times that we're in. Jeremiah 30 and verse 5, it says, for thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. So, hey, man, it's not a time of peace, man. This is a time of trembling and of fear, man. The whole globe is in a time of trembling and of fear. All right? It says, ask ye now, see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces turned to paleness. It says, you know, and that's going into what? Let me read it again. It says, ask ye now, see whether a man doth travail with child. All right, you know, going into like a man having birth pains as a woman in labor pains, man. All right. It says, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turned to paleness. All right. It says, verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So going into these times, man, this is going to be a time like never before since there have been a nation on the earth, even to these times, man. And we out here warning our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites, all right? This is the time of what? Jacob's trouble, man. All right, the devil's coming down into you having great wrath. But what? 2/3 of our people, again, all right, they're being a rebellious nation, a rebellious people. They say prophesying to us smooth things. Don't tell us about this negativity. Don't tell us about world war. Don't tell us about nuclear warfare. Don't tell us about famines and pestilence and all these different things going on. Tell us about what? The smooth things. Tell us that, hey, look, we gonna prosper. We gonna get rich. We gonna get the bag. My son gonna be an NFL football player. My daughter gonna be a stylist or a rapper or something like that. She gonna be the next Cardi B, and we gonna live in a mansion. We gonna keep going on forever, man. These are all lies and deceits, man. All right, we would, hey, man, the blood would be on our hand if we was to tell you those type of things like that, man. All right, you know, you have some people out here that's telling you things like that. Hey, it's a certain, it's, you know, it ain't gonna be no tribulation. You're not gonna go through these things. But hey, man, the Lord told us it's gonna be a time like never before. All right, since there was a nation even unto the same time, man. All right. Let me grab that real fast. This is Matthew 24, 21, and 22. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no nor ever shall be. So going back into that, we was just reading about Jacob's trouble, man. This is the worst time ever that's coming upon the earth, man. And as the days go on, things are getting gradually worse and worse and worse and worse. Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. All right, so hey, man, you know, going into the days being shortened, that means these prophecies are coming to pass faster and faster and faster, man. All right, these things are happening at a more rapid rate, man. All right, you know, years ago we talked about the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. You know, we talked about those things, but now you're seeing it being played out. Now you're seeing these things coming to pass faster and faster and faster, man. Now you're seeing more and more mandates being handed down, more and more draconian laws being pushed. All right, you're seeing World War III getting closer and closer as we speak, man. All right, but nevertheless, continuing on, because hey, we was going into, hey, there is a way out. The Lord has prepared a way for his people, man. But hey, 2/3 of our people, they're gonna get cut off and die. But let me start there real quick. Isaiah 65 and verse 12, it says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called you did not answer, and when I spake you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. So that's going into what, 2/3. They didn't want to hearken. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to answer that call when the Lord was calling them, man. They put off from day to day, man. They made lies their refuge, man. All right, they made a covenant with death, man. They didn't sit here and trusted in Egypt, man. They started walking hand in hand with the enemy, man. Believing in falsehoods and things like that, man. This is what they made their comfort space, their refuge into these things, man. Oh, it's going to be all right. As long as I got my money, we straight, man. I got my own money. I got my own land. I got my own food stored up. I got my doomsday prepping. I got all these different things that's going to sustain me in that day, man. You know, I got people that's giving me counsel. You know, I got this good job. Whatever they got, man. They got all these different excuses why they don't need to hearken unto the Lord, man. That's the last thing that they wind up doing, man. You know, Jake is always high and mighty in their own ways and their own doings. All right, and up until what? They on that deathbed or they're in a hospital, man. And then the last thing they say is, y'all pray for me, man. That's the last. That's what they say. They last you know, the last little leg that they stand on or whatever. You know, the last thing that they think of, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, they continue on in their wickedness all the way up until that day, man. They in their pride. I don't care. I got my money. I got my doomsday prepping. I got my food stored up. I make good money. That ain't gonna affect me. All right, I was talking to somebody the other day that's always proud about how, you know, and they don't really even understand the value of money. Oh yeah, I'm so-and-so, my husband, yeah, and they make, you know, 6 figures a year. We got about $1 million saved up in our 401k. Now I come to find out, he told his wife, hey man, I'm gonna have to keep working for health insurance. Things get more and more expensive, man. All right, telling them that $1 million ain't really worth that $1 million no more, man. All right, they're gonna have to keep working until, you know, until oblivion, man. You know what? He's talking some, hey, shit, I might have to wind up losing his life some type of way, so his wife can collect a life insurance policy just so she can continue living on, man. But yet and still, they were so caught up in the living into their securities that their so-called money would be able to save them, man. But lo and behold, hey man, within a year or so, all that money been devalued, man. So hey, you making these lies your refuge, hey, it's gonna all come to pass at those times, man. All right, it's gonna come in like a great flood, man. You believed in one lie to another lie, then at the last moment, everybody want to come looking for the Lord at that time, man. That's why the scriptures say, seek him early while he may be found, man. You don't want to be trying to seek the Lord at the last moment, man. You know, that's when everybody has a so-called great conversion. All right, again, when they're in the time of trouble and it's a time of adversity, man. All right, even in a time of great trouble and trials and tribulations, it'll turn the greatest atheist into a believer at that time, man. All right, everybody starts screaming, oh, God, help me, God, please save. Hey, but it's too late to call on the Lord then, man. You're supposed to be seeking the Lord early while he may be found, man. So you can store up your treasures in heaven, man. Stock up on that faith, man. All right. But let's read this here and continuing on Isaiah 65. All right, because we was talking about, hey, there's a way out, man. People ask how we going to eat in the time. You know, you're talking about these bad times, but how we going to be able to survive in these times, man? Isaiah 65 and verse 13, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, power, behold my servants. All right, the key word there is his servants, those that serve the Lord, man. It says, behold, my servants shall eat, but you shall be hungry. All right, and then going into those things, man, that's the number one thing a lot of people say, man, I'm going to need my job. How am I going to wind up eating, man? And we have plenty of testimonials of the Lord feeding us in these times, man. Whether you had a job, lost a job, got another job back, man. You know, and certain things like that going on, man. You know, hey, the Lord will close one door, open up another door, man. All right, the Lord is always going to provide for his people, man. We have, hey, like the scriptures say, the things that was written aforetime written for our learning and our understanding, man. We have multiple scenarios of our forefathers that was eating all the time, man. Elijah was fed by the ravens and the birds, man. You also had that time where he went to the lady where they was on their last meal, man. It was her and her sons, and she was on her last meal. She was baking the bread for her and her son's last meal, and they was going to eat that food, and that was it. They was going to starve to death, man. And he said, look, man, fix my food first, and then fix your food for your family and your kids, man. So she did what she had faith, man. She hearkened unto him, fixed her plate, or fixed his plate first, and then she started fixing their plate, man. But if you remember the story, she didn't even have enough food for just them, let alone an extra person. Right? But hey, what? They kept eating it all the way into what? I think it said multiple days on after, man. So, hey, man, the Lord provided multiple amounts of food to keep feeding them on and on and on for those that believe, man. All right, so going back, Isaiah chapter 65 verse 13, therefore thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servants shall eat, but you shall be hungry. All right, you know, you have a lot of these people that's storing up their ways, you know, because at the end of the day, man, nobody's going to be able to say that their own arm saved them, their own arm delivered them up out of this here time, man. Because first and foremost, this is the Lord that's coming and bringing down this destruction on the earth, man. All right, so you're not gonna be able to say you saved yourself from the Lord with your own doing because you stored up some food in your pantry. All right, you got your little bunker. All right, you got your this, you got your that, your 401k. Hey man, none of those things are gonna be able to save you in those days, man. It's gonna be the Lord. He's gonna get the power and the glory in these times, man. It's the Lord that's gonna be able to say, hey, look, I delivered my people from out of these here times, man. That's what the Lord is looking for him to be able to get this here glory in those times, man. All right. So if anybody's to be saved in those times, man, it's the only way you're gonna be able to say that you were saved is through the Lord saving you in those times. So going back, Isaiah 65 and verse 13 says, therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. And that's one of the things that's going to be a hard pill to swallow, so to say, man. You know, where some of these people were storing up with their so-called monies. All right, you know, a lot of people are feeling that right now, man. All right, with the increase of price of everything that's going on. You know, they've been living all so-called deliciously for so long, having so much money. Oh, we make 6 figures a year. We do this, we do that, and everything else like that, man. Oh, I got this X amount of money. Now they have to downsize and sell their houses and their cars and everything else like that. That's just the first wave, man. You ain't even really seen real trials and tribulations yet, man. You know, you're just in the, you know, you're still in dire times where people can go out and live in luxuries right now, more or less to say. All right, but yet and still people are feeling the hurts right now, man. A lot of people like up in New York and California who is living somewhat lavishly and things like that. All right, these people now are having to move down south to where they can, their little so-called $1 million home, all right, they can live so-called lavishly in a different place where there's a cheaper cost of living at, man. All right, if you know a little bit about, you know, a little economics and things like that, you'll know about certain things like that. Like they say with the so-called Mexicans, they come over here and work, and they send their money back to Mexico because the money's worth a lot more, so they can live like a king back over there, man. But that's the signs of these people now that's starting to sorrow, all right? Before they was rejoicing and living it up, the city of mirth, all right? But now they starting to sorrow, man. Hey, man, we can't afford to live in New York no more. We got to downsize, man. We got to go down south where it's cheaper at, man. All right? Or they got their food stored up and everything else like that. But now, you know what? We can't get to those things. We got to sell off our second and our third house, man. All right? You know, and another thing is going to be a sad, sorrowful day is for people with these doomsday preppers and things like that. Even a lot of those reports are coming out about how those things are becoming illegal. All right? And they're going after certain of these people or whatever. Not sure how true that is or whatever. But, hey, man. Gonna be a sad day when you have your little food stored up and things like that, and you can't get to your food, man. All right, you see about certain when the pandemic started, they had certain places that was quarantined off. You couldn't get to certain states. All right, so hey, that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow, knowing that you have all these things stored up and can't get to them, man. All right, or you get there and you see other people that ran through your stash already, man. All right, because people gonna know, hey, man, we know that they got food stored up in there. We know that they got water stored up in there, and now you have, you know, the hungry folks over there running through your stash, man. All right, that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow for some of these people, man. You know, you have a lot of these other people that's living, especially a lot of these women in these downtown areas and things in these high-rise buildings, saying they don't need no man, and they got all this here OnlyFans money. All right, all these different things like that. Got pantries full of food now, but you got the neighbor or whoever's been hitting you up for your little OnlyFans or your little back page specials and things like that, know where you live, come run through your damn apartments, man. Or the doorkeeper down at the bottom, he come run through your apartment knowing you got some money, because he got to go back to the slums, the ghetto where he live at. He just work at the door as security, man. All right, these people going to be running through your stash, man. It's going to be a sad day, man. But ultimately, the scripture do speak about those things. We can grab that real fast. Let me grab that. All right, because, hey, ultimately the elect, because we're reading about how the Lord's servants are going to wind up eating, man. They're not going to be having to be bashing you people over the head for no food or nothing like that, man. All right, the Lord is going to have make a way for his people to eat. All right, but going into the rest of you people, like I was just speaking on, all right, getting bashed over the head for some food. We can read quite a bit of this. This is matter of fact, I want to finish this off. I think we was done with that. Let me finish this off in Isaiah. Make this here point. Isaiah 65 and verse 13. Therefore thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So, going into these things, the Lord is going to pretty much make it to the point to where, his servants are going to be looked after, man. All right, so like I was bringing out earlier, hey man, the Lord has a way for His people, man. And you know, He could even make your enemies be at peace with you, man. All right, you may have some people that may you know, work in some of these big warehouses where the food is stored at and things like that, giving you food. All right, people at the grocery stores, hey, you know, yeah, brothers having dreams about things like that. All right, people at certain farms and grocery stores like that, opening up a back door, giving them food. All right, I can speak for myself in as a testimony. When the pandemic started, couldn't get out to the grocery stores. You know, working during the times of the pandemic. You know, I worked for predominantly Edomites, man. And man, they the ones lined up my refrigerator to the point where I couldn't even accept no more food, man, or toilet paper, man. I damn near had toilet paper for a whole year after the fact, man. All right, but these was my enemies, man. You know, another time where, you know, it was a hurricane and I was sitting there working a different job, couldn't get to the store to stock up on certain supplies and things like that. But, you know, they was giving out free water at the job, and then they was like, nah, we can't give you no, you know, they told me they weren't gonna give me no damn water or nothing like that because I didn't have the right code on my badge. All right, but lo and behold, you know, I get home and open up my trunk, and lo and behold, there's water in there, man. All right, and they didn't go into my trunk because I got out of my car and walked up there to try to, you know, see if I can get some water. But lo and behold, you know, the Lord had it to where, hey, somehow, some way, there was a case of water in my damn trunk, man. So, hey, man, you know, there's plenty of examples of plenty of brothers, you know, having testimonies, you know, going out and working in the middle of the night, hungry, not knowing how they're going to eat, going to a certain spot, somebody just give them some food, man, free food. Hey, man, hey, take this, free food. We made one too many of these pizzas or whatever, man. Here goes some free food or whatever, man. And it's some lawful food for you to eat, man. All right, so, hey, man, the Lord will always make a way for His servants to eat, man. You know, hey, the Lord will have it till you come across certain stored up food, all right, stored up water, things like that. Just have you moving. He'll have you moving in the spirit to be able to guide you into the ways you need to be able to get these things, man. And some of these people may not be able to get back to their bunkers, get back to their little food and everything else like that, and wind up dying off. There's another show like that, couple of different shows. I can't even think of some of these names, but nevertheless, where, you know, there was different viruses that took place, and all the people wound up dying off in a little area, and the people that were still walking off, they was going through the different homes and stuff like that. Like, damn, man, it's a house full of medicines, a house full of food, a house full of water, a house full of supplies. Ain't nobody around here to take this because all the people done died off already, man. All right, but what, those people that died off, they was probably howling for vexation of spirit as the plague was wound up taking a hold of them or whatever, or some marauders came and took them. All right, but nevertheless, hey, you know, as the movie was showing those people as far as being the elect, they wound up running across the stash spot, man. All right, but nevertheless, that's how the Lord's going to have it for His people. All right, let me start this here video.